Welcome to Running for Real, a global community with a shared love and curiosity for running. Together we reconnect with the reasons why we love to run and discover ways it helps us become better people. Whether it's the quiet moments of a morning run while the rest of the world still sleeps, or befriending the strangers next to you at the start line of a race, we are here to connect with others who see running as the common thread that weaves our lives together. Come join me, Tina Muir, as I talk with people from all walks of life, united by a love of running. Hello, my friends. Welcome to this final episode of 2022. I am excited that you are here. I thank you for joining us today in sharing this update about 2022 and running for real, just to catch up on what I and the team have been up to. And I'm excited to dive into some of that with you. Now, I'm going to go over a few things quickly first here, because while I'm going to go into detail in the episode, I know in reality, we sometimes tend to jump to the parts that tell us the overarching, what's the acronym? Too long, didn't read? Yeah, that. We're going to do a version of that to start with. And that's just going to be my reflection on the year. The annual report, which we're going to share with you in a minute, although that does sound a bit stuffy. This is definitely not a stuffy episode. You are for sure going to keep the Tina-ness in this. However, I wanted to reflect myself without having prompts or ideas put together from my team, and just really go through it with you in the moment. I have not thought of this ahead of time, but I wanted to just talk about a few things in my own words. 2022. The first thing that comes to mind is it was hard. It was beautiful. It was empowering. It was a breath of fresh air. It was full of gratitude and love and humanity and people, which was a welcome change. But it was also hard. We lost people on our team who have moved on to bigger and better things, which I'm very excited for them to begin their own adventures, to be with their families, to take on new things. But it's hard to go through that. We've also been through essentially some growing pains at Running for Real as we figure out our next step. It became crystal clear to me this year that I really didn't have a direction of where I was going. I'd been asked over the last 5 or so years what the mission was, where I wanted Running for Real to be in 10 years. And I couldn't answer that question. And I'm still working on it. It's coming together. But as of right now, I don't have a solid, this is what we are doing. We're working through it. And it's painful and it's uncomfortable. And it's meant at one point this year, my team had to override something I was trying to put out to the world because I was making a bad choice with it. And that's difficult for someone in my position to admit. I'm a recovering perfectionist, still lean on the perfectionist side of things. I want to do things myself. And I really love working with my team, especially with my team. But it's still sometimes I tend to just go ahead with things without consulting anyone. And now it's getting to the point where it could hurt people on my team for not consulting with them, but also potentially my own self. And I love that I have people who are there to help me with that, but it's been difficult. 2022 has been difficult. It's also brought some beautiful moments, some amazing highlights, and moments where I felt so loved and appreciated and just glad to be alive on this world. And there were many, many, many of those. But I think more than anything in this year, I've recognized that it's okay for two things to be existing at the same time. In any one moment, we are going to have something that maybe makes us happy, even if it's something really simple in a dark moment. But we're also going to have that darkness there. And those two things, they exist at the same time. I read a really I think my book that stuck with me this year was Bittersweet by Susan Cain. I definitely recommend it. And she really makes it a clear point that it's okay and it's normal and it's expected and it's the way things are to have two things at one time. And I'd really felt that all my years, and I really had to work through that this year. I'm also really proud of taking the leap environmentally. It's something that I'd been dealing with internally for a long time, just wanting to take that leap, but never quite having the, I don't want to even say confidence, just the belief I could do it. And this year I did, and immediately things came into my world. I got to go to the Chicago Marathon. I was brought up there to work with a sustainability team, and that was an incredible experience, working like 12-hour days, which I haven't done in I don't even know how long. So I was exhausted, but it was a good example of really getting to be in deep with sustainability, seeing other people who cared about it as much as I, and seeing people who are doing really amazing work. Also at New York Roadrunners, I got to host a plogging event from the Run Center, and that was pretty amazing. And so I've had lots of opportunities that have just been such a gift. Running for Real also won a podcast award at the Outdoor Media Summit for Best Podcast Episode in 2021, which was a really cool achievement. That was our episode with Jordan Marie Daniel. I'm really proud of that. It was also a year that I really worked on taking spontaneous leaps. I did things that put me way outside of my comfort zone. And every time I did it, something beautiful happened. And I was really glad I did. I got in a drumming circle a few months ago out in Venice Beach. And that was just a dance in the middle of 100 people with one friend. And it was just the most freeing, empowering experience. And there's been many of those throughout this year where I've really jumped into things without knowing how they're going to go. And it's been really fun. What else is coming to mind for 2022? My relationships with the brands that we have worked with, primarily Tracksmith and Allbirds, have just been the best to work with. Those companies care about this world so much. Same with Athletic Greens. I just have loved working alongside them, and I'm very excited for 2023 in that sense of what we're going to do here. I think at this point, it is a good point to go on to the, I guess, regular scheduled part of this interview, this episode. And I want to tell you more about the things that we have been doing in 2022. We're going to talk about our team and who that involves. When I say that, what does that even mean? We're going to talk about some updates on the podcast, Together Runs, our partners, our community building events that we've been doing. We're going to talk about sustainability. And as we look forward to 2023, what the Red S Realize, Reflect, Recover program, this free resource we will be offering on YouTube. I believe this is what has been missing in so many ways. I'm so excited about this. We'll be telling you more about that. And also my book with Zoe Rome, Becoming a Sustainable Runner, is coming out in 2023. We've been working hard on that. And one final note before we get on to the, I guess, more maybe less up and down Tina authentic, let's jump around wherever it goes, the more structured part, is that the book has been a major focus for the year. I've been writing most of the year, and that is a humbling process. It is hard. You hear people talking about book writing, and it really became clear to me exactly what they're talking about. So with that, let's check in with one of our sponsors and go right to this annual report. Thank you to Oladance for sponsoring this episode of the Running for Real podcast. Now, you've heard me recently talking about Oladance, which are these amazing running earbuds that you can gift for loved ones for the holidays, for Christmas, for New Year's, for anything coming up in the new year, whatever way you celebrate. And their open earbuds give you true comfort. And I can really attest to this. These are for podcast listeners, for runners, for those of you who, like me, love to jump around and dance in your kitchens, for when you're doing chores, for when you are Going from a walk to a run, it doesn't give you that vibrating feeling that I used to really dislike in the past, that felt like my bones were rattling. There is none of that. This is superior sound without the bone rattling, without the vibrating. It is really clear whether you're walking, whether you're running, whether you're dancing, whether you're jumping, whether you're anything else that you could be doing, and working too. There is no ear fatigue. These sit comfortably, and if you wear headphones for more than 2 hours a day, Oladance is a must-have. Now, I mentioned these are open ear. So that open ear design means that they don't enter your ear, so there's no ache inside your ear, which is just a horrible feeling. They are secure, they stay firm in your ears, and you can also hear outside sound. So for us as runners, that means we stay safe because we don't lose track of what's happening around us. We are able to stay in the moment, enjoying what we're listening to, while also be able to hear noises like cars or other things that may be coming towards us, or also things like squirrels rustling in the leaves. I can hear that too when I am running with my Oladance. I can also hear clearly, even if it is windy, with the design that they have made. These are made for people who love to move, who love to be active and listening to music, to podcasts, to whatever else, to books, while you are out there doing your stuff, which I love. Now you, as a friend of mine, can go to oladance.com/Tina. That is oladance.com/Tina, and that will get you 20% off. oladance.com/Tina will get you 20% off. Go check out those earbuds. They are amazing. I am loving them, and I can't wait to hear how much you are loving them too. Before we get into the main part of the episode, I just wanted to take a moment to pause. If you have done a together run with me, you will know that we do many meditative elements at the beginning of every run, except for those special group ones that are at races. Those are a bit more high energy. But in general, we always do a few things. We have a nature check-in, we have a senses check-in, a body scan, and we have a mental health check-in. Now, I want us to practice a few of these before we go into the main part of the episode, and I want you to do them with me. First, I want you to either try to touch some element of nature if you have something around you. Maybe that's a plant. Maybe I don't imagine anyone sitting outside right now. Maybe you are if you're in the Southern Hemisphere, but maybe it's something that is alive. Maybe it's a flower or something else. If not, I want you to just plant your feet firmly on the ground. Remind yourself that even if you're on the 20th floor of a building, even if you cannot feel Mother Earth beneath you, you are on this planet right now. You are grounded and you are here. Let's take a few deep breaths. Ready? A nice slow let out. Another one in. And out. I want us to do a body scan, which is another element we do in the Together runs, which you can find in the main Running for Real feed where you find them, or bonus ones in the Patreon feed. What I'm going to do is I'm going to work our way through our bodies. I'm going to call out some areas, and you're just going to follow you with your awareness, just checking in with each part of your body. Ready? Starting at the top of your head, working your way down, checking in with your eyes, making sure your eyes aren't squinting or holding on to any tension, just nice and relaxed. As you work down through your nose and go around the back of your head, as you come back through the front to check in with your mouth, making sure your jaw is relaxed, you're not clenched or grinding. As you go into your chin, into your front of your neck, around to the back of your neck. As you go down into your chest and in through the top of your arms, around the elbow, into your forearm. As you go into your wrist and your hand and into your fingers. Coming back through the chest, going down into your stomach, checking in with your lower back. As you work your way into the hips and pelvis, going whatever way feels right for you, just imagining a light going through them. As you come down into your quads and hamstrings, just checking in there with the back of your hamstring, with the back of your knee, with the front of your knee. As you go into your calf and shin, you check in with your inner ankle and with your outer ankle, As you go down into your heel and your arch and the top of your arch, as you check in with the ball of your foot and finally your toes. How's everything feeling? Next, I want to just take 30 seconds or so, and I'm going to ask you, how are you? Really? Few more seconds. Thank you for doing that. Let's jump into the episode. So let's begin moving through these sections just to tell you a little bit of an update about what we've been going through this year. And I want to begin by sharing a little bit about our team. Now, you know myself, but Running for Real would not be possible without the incredible work of our team. So I want to just quickly go through who we had on the Running for Real roster in 2022. Now, you know me. With my vision, we are growing Running for Real into a movement of runners, encouraging each other to be brave, get out of our comfort zones, and take tiny steps towards shaping the world we want to see. I won't say any more of myself. I want to move on. We have Jeremy, who's our podcast editor and audio consultant. Jeremy has been with me since the very beginning, and his focus with Running for Real is for the podcast to sound great while maintaining the authenticity of my conversations with guests. In addition to finalizing all the audio into what the audience hear, Jeremy has also helped me to refine my equipment, recording space, and technical expertise, although still sometimes I forget to connect my mic. That is all on me. He's also contributed to making Running for Real one of the top running podcasts as a member of the community's strategy team. Jeremy, as he knows me so well, and he knows the team so well, and he knows the space, he really has been a crucial part of taking the podcast, but Running for Real as a business into the next stages of life. Sally is our content and operations manager, and the question is, what doesn't Sally do? She writes copy for the company, including episode descriptions, promotional materials across all media platforms. She gathers podcast guest details, gets the podcast out twice a week, oversees our YouTube channel, coordinates contract obligations with sponsors, and is a member of the Running for Real strategy team. Quite a lot going on there. Next, I want to talk about Kat, who is our community and team culture manager. Kat supports our community development mission with great compassion and empathy by monitoring our social media platforms and facilitating events. She provides and promotes positive mental health on the team through monthly wellness checks and is a member of the Running for Real strategy team, another integral piece of us taking this direction. Kelsey is our head of design, and she's passionate about bringing the Running for Real brand to life through illustrations, logo, social media graphics, and more. Sandy is our creative content producer. She's this nationally recognized photographer and marketing manager who produces these beautiful photos. If you've seen, most of the pictures of me are from Sandy, taken by Sandy, and she also helps us with strategies for creative marketing. And today I also want to talk about Louise. Louise is our design and creative content coordinator. She has not only proposed a fantastic idea that we are excited to work towards bringing to life in 2023, but she also assists Kelsey with any creative pieces and the design elements that you see all across the Running for Real board. She is someone that our most newest member who has joined us, and we absolutely love having her as well. And finally, Andrew. Andrew's incredible website development skills have been instrumental behind the scenes at Running for Real as we reworked our website this past summer, and he continues to support us through ongoing technical support needs. 2022 also brought changes to our team. We said farewell to our teammates Erica, Stacey, Kaylee, and Victoria, who were called to exciting opportunities beyond Running for Real. We wish them the best in their continued career paths, and we were so grateful for them sharing their experiences and knowledge with the team. As for the podcast, Running for Real is a collective of conversations that inspire, motivate, and encourage runners who know deep down the world we want to create already exists. This year, we brought on a fantastic range of guests, including Patty Gonya, Steve Magnus, Reshma Saujani, Adrienne Hazlitt, Simranjeet Singh, and so many others. We were proud to introduce our audience to guests with different life experiences, abilities, and stories. And some of the major themes we focused on this past year included conversations about building healthy goals and mindsets, as well as revisioning our identities as runners. We celebrated diversity while leaning into difficult conversations about privilege, and we explored what it means to live sustainably as part of the wider running community. We are very grateful to our amazing listeners for their continued support over this last year. Our total podcast episode downloads of over 5.5 million, and we reach an audience of about 130,000 per month. We also celebrated our 300th podcast episode, and that was with Reshma Saujani, who is the founder of Mums Who Code and Marshall Plan for Mums. And we spoke about how we can all learn to fail in a way that teaches us something new. I want to share just a few bits of feedback from members of the community who left reviews or sent us some feedback about what Running for Real means to them. Julia said, great conversations about running that provide insight into practice while also exploring the more human aspects of the sport. So many interesting guests. Margie said, since I started listening to the podcast in spring 2020, I have learned so much about myself and the running community. I love how relatable it is and how honest you and your guests are. Thank you for bringing these uncomfortable discussions into this space. One of the more special parts of the podcast is that we were able to continue the Together Run episodes. I started these in the midst of the pandemic. Together Runs are meditation, grounding exercise, and check-ins, all rolled into my easy conversational style. Together, our community has participated in over 70 of these virtual group runs, and we look forward to bringing many more of these to our audience in 2023. Just a few bits of feedback about Together Runs. I love Tina's Together Runs. I feel like I'm running with a friend. I've been listening to the podcast on my runs for a while now. This is a fun, new approach to keep me in the moment and motivate me along my journey. That's from DeFrank. And I love listening to Tina's musings and her thoughts on Together Runs. I find these so relaxing and motivating to run to. She gets me in a good headspace. And that's from Liz. Earlier this year, we featured a special limited series called Running Reunion, in which I caught up with some former podcast guests. These short episodes included special visits from Grayson Murphy, Sanjay Rawal, Courtney DeWalter, Mario Friuli, amongst others. The audience enjoyed shorter episodes, that shorter episode format. So in the summer, we transformed Running Reunion into weekly strides. Weekly strides are 5 to 10 minute episodes in which I answer listener questions about running, such as what should I look for in a running watch? What makes a good runner? And what kinds of strength training should I do to support my running? While we have taken a pause on those on the main podcast feed, those are available every Wednesday on YouTube. And we are really starting to look into our future with YouTube. We feel a lot of potential there. I'm going to pause us for just a second as we check in with one of our sponsors. You know, they are a critical piece of allowing the Running for Real podcast, the Running for Real business to continue. Without them, we would not be here. So I thank you, and I hope you know that every ad that is on this podcast, we have reviewed, we have used, we believe in not just the product, but the company itself. So let's go thank one of those. Thank you to Athletic Greens for partnering with Running for Real and myself and allowing us to continue the work that we are doing. Now, today, I want to talk to you about Athletic Greens. This time of year, it is especially important to consider this because not only are you getting 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, and whole food source ingredients, this comprehensive nutrition in one single scoop, which is how I start my day every day. Even if I'm going immediately out the door on a run, it doesn't upset my stomach. It just is an ideal way to start my day. You're also building a daily habit in 1 minute, and it's going to promote your gut health, support your immunity, boost your energy, and more. Not only those things, But with your order, when you sign up through my code by going to athleticgreens.com/Tina, you are going to get a 1-year free supply of vitamin D3 and K2 plus 5 free travel packs. The vitamin D element is so important this time of year for most of us. We are coming into the winter. This is a time when our vitamin D levels drop. And if you let your vitamin D levels drop too much, it's going to wreak havoc with your training and with your life. It really is so important for us to keep that, as we are not getting the vitamin D exposure from the sun. And I love that Athletic Greens has decided that they are going to give us the opportunity to put those two things together, so you have everything you need in one scoop. I love having it every morning. I know it is going to take care of my gut, take care of my immunity, boost my energy, and help with recovery through superfoods, adaptogens, and antioxidants. It's like your insurance policy, so no matter what you eat in that day, you know you have given your body nutrient-dense foods, you have taken care of it, and you can go about your day and enjoy this season. So go to athleticgreens.com/Tina to check it out. That's athleticgreens.com/Tina. As for podcast partners, Running for Real, as you know by now, does not chase money or big names. What Running for Real does chase are partners that are best for our community. And I really mean that. We recommend only brands we totally trust that align with our values, even if that means saying no to about 80% of the companies that reach out to us, really. The brands that we work with share the ethics, moral, and heart of Running for Real. So the brands you see here are our biggest supporters from the past year, the ones who have been with us through thick and thin. They are generous, thoughtful, and brave. And here's a little about why we appreciate them. Allbirds. Allbirds products are made from natural and recycled materials, and best of all, they know who they are. They are changing the running industry through the determination to produce products with limited carbon footprints, and we are proud to be a member of the Allbirds All Good Collective. Very excited for what is ahead in 2023 with that. Athletic Greens, there's 75 vitamins, minerals, and whole food source ingredients. It's the all-in-one daily supplement to help support our body's critical nutritional needs. And AG1 or Athletic Greens has a lot of aligned values with us. Their annual report impressed us with the support they give to make change without feeling the need to blast it everywhere. Like their product, it speaks for itself. Tracksmith creates beautiful, authentic products designed for training, racing, and recovery. They truly celebrate and uplift the running community around them, and we love the way they don't just talk about making the world a better place, they actively walk the walk through their campaigns and events as a company. And finally, Inside Track Eyes, a health and wellness platform with no parallel. They offer a clear picture of what's going on the inside to provide their clients with a science-based, trackable action plan to reach their goals and feel their best. While we are no longer working together, we also wanted to give mentions to Paceline for their support over this past year. We are grateful to have been able to form a partnership with them and have companies like the ones I mentioned there to work with, promote their products and their services. Onto events and community building. While much of our work at Running for Real focuses on producing podcast episodes, our goal is to support the community and create a space where everyone, regardless of their background, can feel like they belong. As a result, our superstar community is comprised of members from around the globe with a wonderful range of interests, identities, and backgrounds. Now, in the written PDF version of this, we have included for you a few graphs to see these numbers, to really dive into them. But just to give you a few things, our top 10 cities were New York, London, and Sydney. And actually, fourth is Melbourne, which I found interesting that 2 of the top 4 were Australia. Our top 10 countries are by far and away the US, followed by the UK, and followed by Australia. Our average demographic were women aged 35 to 44, followed by women aged 45 to 54, and women aged 25 to 34. However, we do have a good chunk of male listeners or community members who we love and appreciate. Within Instagram, we've got some different cities and countries. The US is again the number one country that people find us on Instagram. New York and London are again the top 5 cities, followed by, interestingly, Austin. So Austinites, is that the term? Thank you for your support. Earlier this year, we asked our Facebook group what the Running for Real community means to them. So I want to just share with you a few things that people said. I have received so much love, care, concern, instruction, happiness, humor, acceptance, guidance, training tips, life lessons, helpful information ad infinitum from Running for Real superstars. I've formed supportive friendships, and we have even met 2 group members in person. The key to the group is it's reciprocal. We give as much as we get back. And that's from TM. Running for Real is a community that encourages learning and growth by discussing running and related issues that go beyond the surface level of running. That's from AH. I often forget that this group is related to the podcast because in many ways it has a life of its own. I've learned so much and gained so much from being here, and I hope I've done the same for others in this group. That's from MC. To accommodate our global community, many of our events this past year took place online. In January, we hosted a series called Together 22 Goals, which encouraged participants to choose a word or a goal to focus on by taking 22 actions that towards that goal in the month. We also hosted bi-weekly Zoom conversations to check in on how everyone's goals were progressing. Following the success of Together 22 Goals, we launched a self-compassion challenge in February around the week of Valentine's Day. We encouraged participants to find different ways to show themselves compassion. We had the help of daily videos from our friends Tommy Runs, Jared Ward, Evie Saventi, Matthew Huff, and others. During this time, our community really appreciated having ongoing bi-weekly Zoom check-ins. So we continued to host these conversations into May, long after the Self-Compassion Challenge had finished. In April, we hosted a virtual watch-along to cheer on those in our community who are running the Boston Marathon. We had a great turnout and enjoyed on-the-ground messages all along the way from myself and one of our other team members, Jeremy. Thank you to Tracksmith for sponsoring this episode of the Running for Real podcast and for partnering with Running for Real. We are so thankful to the loyalty of this incredible company for their support and their ability, and they're giving us the ability to be able to continue with the work that we are doing, which we know is so meaningful, and they recognize it too. Tracksmith is an independent running brand inspired by a deep love of the sport. When gifting the runners in your life or yourself this season, comfort and durability are paramount. Enter the Brighton base layer. Yes, my favorite. I talk about it all the time. I have the same ones that I've had since 2018 that are in exactly the same condition. They last well, and that's the number one thing we can do environmentally to be thoughtful with our purchases, especially with that apparel industry, is to get long-lasting, durable items. Okay, going back to what I got off track for a second there. Tracksmith Brighton Base Layer is a muslin-free merino wool blend that beautifully regulates your temperature and fights odors on the trail and the roads. During the month of December, if you go to tracksmith.com/Tina, and you use the code TINA15 at checkout, it will give you free shipping and you will be able to support Rising Hearts, which is an Indigenous-led grassroots organization committed to the hard work in elevating Indigenous voices, promoting and supporting intersectional collaborative efforts across all movements in cultivating community with the goals of racial, social, climate, and economic justice. Now, this is the nonprofit of Jordan Marie Daniel, who you have heard me talk about a lot. And I love that we are able to support them through Tracksmith, through they want to give back to the community. That means so much to me. You can also check out the Elliott Runner, which is their daily trainer that has a PBAX powered there's a PBAX powered trainer inspired by the PEP of New England's natural surfaces. And you can check out some of their other best-selling items. But again, for me, if you're going to get anything, the Brighton base is by far and away my favorite. So go check it out. Go to tracksmith.com/Tina to go get that free shipping and to give 5% of your order to Rising Hearts by going to tracksmith.com/Tina. Throughout this past fall, I hosted several in-person shakeouts, scavenger hunt, fun runs with the support of Tracksmith and Allbirds in Venice Beach, Chicago, San Francisco, and New York. Being able to see fellow Running for Real friends was a great highlight for the year, and we are already looking forward to some similar events next year. Now for where my heart is. Not that the rest of this wasn't where my heart is, but this is my favorite thing to talk about, in case it wasn't obvious. Sustainability. A growing focus of Running for Real is the climate emergency and the ways in which runners are impacted by climate change and global warming. In addition to bringing guests to the show who could speak to these topics, we wanted to provide our community with actionable steps they could take towards environmental action. To do so, we initiated 2 projects. 100 Days of Sustainability, what started off as a series of reels on my Instagram platform, soon became an email following of over 140 participants who were all choosing to learn new ways of becoming sustainable in their daily lives. While the challenge wrapped up in November, we're already exploring ways of further engaging the sustainability-minded audience. We also created sustainable race guides. These guides provided participants of major races and visitors to the host cities with suggestions for sustainable transportation, hotel, restaurant, and shopping options, as well as green spaces they might explore during their visit. We also created a packing guide that can be used on any travel to make sure you are limiting your footprint no matter where you are going. All of those can be found on the Running for Real change page on the Running for Real website. There's also going to be links wherever you found us. So looking forward to 2023. As we close the chapter on 2022, we are already buzzing with excitement for projects coming up in the next year. Here's a quick sneak peek of what's going on our agenda. The launch of the Red S Realize, Reflect, Recover program, which is coming in late January to early February. It's developed for athletes, all athletes, beginner to elite, struggling with the effects of relative energy deficiency in sport. This free YouTube video series will consist of short, Ask Me Anything style interviews with experts in nutrition, psychology, and dietetics, as well as personal experiences from me. For those athletes desiring more support, paid videos, resources, and connections to professional help for those who want to take the steps to recover will also be available, and that will also connect you to the experts from those videos. Becoming a Sustainable Runner, the book, which will launch in August, co-authored by Zoe Rome and myself. Becoming a Sustainable Runner explores the multifaceted nature of how the running community can create healthier attitudes towards running that focus on long-term sustainable approaches to participating in the sport for the benefit of individuals, community, and planet. Finally, a big thank you to you. We could not host this podcast, we could not create these programs, events, and resources without your generous support. We're grateful to have you in our community and look forward to building on our relationship in 2023. You know, it's funny, every time I think back to these things, it feels like I haven't really done much. When I take any moment in the year and I think, I haven't done hardly anything. But actually, when I look back on it like that, we have done a lot. We have contributed positively to the change. We have made the changes we wish to see. We have pushed the envelope and really had a lot of hard conversations. And I myself have witnessed some of the changes that have come about because of these steps I've taken. So I want to thank you in this moment, not only for your support, but also for reminding me of that when I struggle to see it. If you have any questions or thoughts you'd like to share with us, always feel free to reach out. You can reach out to Kat at Running for Real or Sally at Running for Real, and they'll direct you to the right place. Happy 2023 from me and the Running for Real team.